I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Rowlet. Owls live on every continent except Antarctica, and are revered in many cultures as wise or spiritual beings, no doubt owing to their nocturnal habits, still disposition, and large observant eyes. In Hawaii in particular, owls are commonly aumakua, family's guardian spirits, which I'm sure we'll talk about in much more detail as this season goes on. Owls evolved right around the time the non-avian dinosaurs were wiped out, 65 million years ago. This is before hedgehogs evolved, which would mess up the fan theory that each successive grass starter is later in the history of life on Earth. That said, barn owls specifically, from which group most of this Pokemon family's characteristics are drawn, evolved later. Rowlet is the grass and flying type starter Pokemon for trainers in Alola, and Hisui, as we'll see. It's an almost spherical brown owl with a white face and a little green leaf forming a bow tie. Like real owls, Rowlet is a nocturnal and stealthy predator. Pokemon Sun tells us, "This wary Pokemon uses photosynthesis to store up energy during the day, while becoming active at night." And Pokemon Moon says, "Silently it glides, drawing near its targets. Before they even notice it, it begins to pelt them with vicious kicks." And, like real owls, Rowlet is absolutely adorable. Pokemon Ultra Moon tells us, "It feels relaxed in tight, dark places, and has been known to use its trainer's pocket or bag as a nest." The name, Rowlet, of course makes sense for a round infant owl. The Japanese name, Mokuro, is more on the nose, combining moku, or wood, with fukuro, or owl. Some Pokedex entries start talking about Rowlet shooting its feathers as little projectiles. Legends Arceus says, "Flies noiselessly on delicate wings. It has mastered the art of deftly launching dagger-sharp feathers from those same wings." This will start to become even more significant when, at level 17, Rowlet evolves into Dartrix. Dartrix is a taller, more realistically proportioned owl. A green feather around the face gives the impression of a carefully maintained haircut, and the extension of the bow tie leaf overall makes the Pokemon a bit more superior and gentlemanly. Pokemon Sun says, "A bit of a dandy, it spends its free time preening its wings. Its preoccupation with any dirt on its plumage can leave it unable to battle." And Pokemon Ultra Sun says, "This narcissistic Pokemon is a clean freak. If you don't groom it diligently, it will stop listening to you." However, this Pokemon isn't arrogant without cause. It takes throwing its feathers to another level of accuracy. Pokemon Moon says, "It throws sharp feathers called blade quills at enemies or prey. It seldom misses." And Ultra Moon says, "Supremely sensitive to the presence of others, it can detect opponents standing behind it, flinging its sharp feathers to take them out." It throws darts, perhaps even performing tricks, hence the name Dartrix. Additionally, Strix are a genus of owls. Similarly, the Japanese name is Fukuthro, combining fukuro, owl, with the English verb throw. It will take throwing feathers and darts to the ultimate conclusion when, at level 34, it evolves into Decidueye. Decidueye is taller in the legs and longer in the wings, taking on almost humanoid proportions. Its leafy bow tie has grown up and around to form a hooded cloak. This look, combined with newfound archery skills, makes the Pokemon a kind of Robin Hood figure. Pokemon Sun tells us, "It fires arrow quills from its wings with such precision they can pierce a pebble at distances over 100 yards." Hawaiian and Polynesian cultures are actually notable for the lack of a bow and arrow. Interestingly, bows were common during their expansion period millennia ago, but since then the lack of native hunting animals saw archery almost disappear. This means that while an archer seems like an odd choice for a starter Pokemon in a region based on Hawaii, a ghost of an archer is actually a perfect fit. Ultra Sun tells us, it knocks its arrow quills and shoots them at opponents. When it simply can't afford to miss, it tugs the vine on its head to improve its focus. And Ultra Moon says, Decidueye can knock and fire an arrow at an enemy in 1/10 of its second, so its battles are decided in the blink of an eye. This archery skill is shown in-game through the ability Long Reach. Unique to this Pokemon family, it allows moves to hit from a distance which would normally be close range, avoiding effects like Rough Skin or Poison Point. Decidueye also loses the Flying type in favour of a new Ghost typing, perhaps alluding to Owl's spiritual significance in Hawaiian culture. Pokemon Scarlet tells us, it cunningly conceals arrow quills in its wings. It launches these quills with such precision that they can pierce a pebble at over 100 yards. The Ghost typing brings a signature move, Spirit Shackle. This move deals physical Ghost-type damage, but also, piercing the opponent with an arrow, locks them from escaping. And it can be upgraded to the powerful Z move, Sinister Arrow Raid. In Hisui, Dartrix evolves not into the standard grass and flying Decidueye, but a grass and fighting regional variant. With autumnal red colours, and a straw hat typical of Japanese farmers and pilgrims, this archer is less Robin Hood, and more samurai or ninja. With archery being extremely prominent in Japan, and the Ainu worshipping an owl god who is not an ancestor spirit in the same way, it makes sense for the Hisuian Decidueye to drop the Ghost type. Legends Arceus tells us, the air stored inside the ranchises of Decidueye's feathers insulates the Pokemon against Hisui's extreme cold. This is firm proof that evolution can be influenced by environment. This form has its own signature move, Triple Arrows. This fighting type move does damage, lowers opponent's defense, and raises Decidueye's critical hit rate. Decidueye has excellent attacking stats, and an interesting type combination, but it is lacking in defenses or speed, giving it a difficult time on the competitive scene. Like any archer, it struggles to fight up close and personal. Hisuian Decidueye also never quite lit the competitive world alight, but it has unique factors. The Scrappy ability lets it hit ghost moves with attacks that normally couldn't, including its signature move. It also makes it immune to the move Intimidate, which, along with the fighting type, is a counter to Incineroar, usually the scissors to Decidueye's paper. The name, Decidueye, combines the sharp eyes of an archer with the dead autumnal leaves of a deciduous tree. Perhaps another reason for the ghost typing, along with the ancestral spirits, Aumakua, the archery connection, and the resemblance to Hawaii's extinct stilt owl. The Japanese name, Juniper, combines juniper with sniper. Ash Ketchum in the anime had a Rowlet, and it's no mystery why. Rowlet was the standout cute one of the Alolan starters. Add the spiritual and samurai connections, and it's a delightful Pokemon family. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon was composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Funding is provided by supporters at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love hearing from listeners. Get in touch on YouTube, social media, or email, and let me know about your favourite monsters. Coming up next are Litten and Poplio, so let me know your thoughts about those or any other Pokemon. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Rowlet, and remember, I love you too.